Welcome back to the channel, folks. Going to make a quick video here about the whole Call of Duty situation. And, is this game being review bombed because it's association with Microsoft and Xbox, or is there something deeper going on? The answer is actually both. So, let's break down what exactly has happened here. As many of you may or may not know, the last 22 months have been a bunch of turmoil when it comes to this particular franchise and the other franchises that belong to the Activision Blizzard King, I guess you would call it conglomerate. Microsoft recently acquired them. The deal closed out on October 13th, just last month on a Friday. And there are people who are taking the review score that the Modern Warfare campaign, not the full game, but the Modern Warfare 3 campaign got. And they're saying, well, it only got a bad score because of their association with Microsoft, and Microsoft ruined the game. Let's be clear about something. Don't listen to the grifters and or idiots who are saying that. Microsoft has literally only owned that company for 2 weeks. 3, give or take now. They did not build this game in 3 weeks. This is more so of a Bobby Kotick Activision thing. Now, on this channel, I've stated to you guys before, the one thing a lot of these companies don't like is having to deal with Sony. They like making money with Sony. They don't like dealing with them. Why would you like the company who charges you to have, quality of life features in your game like crossplay? Sony gets a cut of every game that has crossplay. That's why games that you would look at and say, wow, why doesn't this have crossplay? How come I can't play with my friends on Xbox or Switch or whatever? That's the reason why. They don't want to get charged for every transaction that happens by Sony. And I'm not making that up. That's a thing that came out during this entire debacle, the whole 22 months. 22 months has a bunch of files and news stories you can go back and look on, and you really see the inner workings of not just Sony, but Microsoft, Nintendo, a lot of these companies, and a lot of the weird, crazy stuff they have and the policies they have in place in order to do business, so to speak. Anyway, I'm getting a little long-winded on that, but the main reason that I think this Call of Duty campaign is getting such low scores is because, as the trolls and the troglodytes like to call it, it is actually a $70 piece of DLC. Now, I am not saying this game deserves 4 out of 10 scores. Absolutely not. That is not my me personally. If we're doing a metric of scores based on 10 being the highest and 0 or 1 being the lowest, 4 tells me that the product is broken, that it does not work, like that when I hit the start button, I'm liable to run into a crash, or that when I play the game, things will happen that'll keep me from progressing. Now, strangely enough, our friends at IGN gave Spider-Man an 8 out of 10, and everything I just said just about happens outside of pressing start and the game breaks. But they gave this game a 4 out of 10. And it's only a third of the game. Again, the truth lies on both sides of the fence. So, one side is, yeah, there's definitely some fanboy hypocrisy nonsense going on, because that Fahrenheit game, which I haven't played it, so I won't say whether it's good or bad, but the Fahrenheit game has universally been panned as a terrible product. They gave that game a 5 out of 10. And I'm sorry, the little bit I've played of the Modern Warfare 3 campaign, no, it's nowhere near one of the better campaigns I've played from them. It does seem like the 2 maps I have played, they kind of just drop you into a portion of the Warzone map and just give you objectives to run to and sneak to. And you really don't even have to sneak. You can go guns blazing, and it's it's whatever. It depends on how good you are at shooting at that point. But to insinuate that it's worse than a game that made all these promises, and the developers even went out of their way to say, oh yeah, we're exclusive on PS5 for now because of the SSD, which is some console war fueling nonsense that you would think professionals would be above, but apparently whatever. For that game, the few things I've seen of it, for it to be rated 1 point higher, and mind you, probably wasn't the same reviewer, but still, it's fanboy nonsense, it's console war nonsense, and everybody pretty much knows at this point that IGN is more than willing to play a part in it because it brings in clicks, and people will have few blood feuds and very rude conversations under the article once they post it. Grifters aside, professional level grifters like IGN aside, what's the other side of this, right? Yeah, okay, so yeah, there's some council warrior nonsense going on, but there's another portion of this that we are not looking at. The PlayStation deal with Activision, with the release of this game, which I believe it comes out either the 6th or the 7th officially, is done. That means no more exclusive modes, no more 1 week early access to the betas or 2 weeks early access to the beta, wherever it was. No more exclusive skins. No more advertisement by PlayStation and PlayStation only. And no more higher levels of shared revenue, which I believe that was their thing, right? Oh, we're going to lose money if Microsoft owns them. I think they were getting like a higher cut of the Call of Duty revenue because of their deal with Activision Blizzard. Activision knew this. More importantly, Bobby Kotick knew this. And those who remember the campaign for Modern Warfare 2, and by that I mean the advertising campaign and the big blitz they did on that, this game was supposed to have a 2-year run, meaning that there would not be another Call of Duty releasing the year after it. That changed. I think they announced that in maybe March or April that they changed that. It may have even been sooner. I believe it was Tom Warren of the Verge, because I like giving people credit for putting out pieces of news. I believe he said the deal was done in July. They just had to go through the review process, which is why it took till October. And by what deal, I mean the deal for Microsoft to purchase Activision Blizzard King. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Was it announced in July that Modern Warfare 3 would be coming out this year and not DLC for Modern Warfare 2? Because if that is indeed the case, then Activision may have just weaseled their way out of their deal with Sony. What do I mean? Again, the fanboys and the trolls call it $70 DLC. It feels like that. Like at least the campaign does. The campaign feels like that. But then when you look at other aspects of the game, you start to think to yourself, they may have a point. This is the first time in Call of Duty's history that your guns and some of your skins, well, some of your guns and some of your skins carry over to the next game. The maps that you're getting with this game are just a bunch of Modern Warfare 2 maps. Why would you launch a Modern Warfare 3, the second Modern Warfare 3, with Modern Warfare 2 maps when you could have put your Modern Warfare 2 maps in Modern Warfare 2? I think and I don't want to say I know, but I damn near want to say I know. I think this is DLC. And I think what Activision has done is to speed up the process of no longer having to deal with Sony on that level. They have turned what should have been DLC into a full-fledged game. Because Sony had one more game left, and before they announced that this game was coming out, that game was going to be Treyarch's game, which I believe is rumored to be based on the Gulf War. They don't have advertising rights to that game anymore. They will not be benefiting from that game the way they benefited from games in the past. That stuff's over with. So, with that being said, one has to wonder, was it Activision and Microsoft, or was it just Activision? Was it Bobby Kotick? Because we know how he is. Who decided, you know what, let's get them out of the way. Let's go ahead and make them sell this game that we're going to half-ass and be done having to deal with them in the capacity we deal with them. Sony may have just got taken to the cleaners. And you know what? It sucks. It sucks for consumers because we got a really not very well baked campaign. From what I've played, it's like, it's not bad. It's just not very good. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think they got them. I think they just, pulled a quick one on them, and, the consumers are going to pay for it. Now, next year's game, I'm pretty sure is going to be full-fledged, well thought out campaign, everything else. But if you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Have you played Modern Warfare's campaign yet? Have you noticed any of the things I noticed? Don't you find it a bit strange that all of the maps that this game is launching with are old maps for the original Modern Warfare 2 that, if plans had gone the way they were supposed to, would have just been DLC content for the old Modern Warfare, or the new Modern Warfare 2 game that we're just now getting off of? But now all of a sudden, they're in the Modern Warfare 3 game. And then I think some news just came out that they're going to put some of the maps from that Modern Warfare 2 game, the new one, into this Modern Warfare 3. Like, I'm almost 100% convinced that this game is in fact DLC. This game was supposed to be DLC, and in order to get out of that deal, there goes my phone. In order to get out of that deal with Sony, they went ahead and they turned their DLC into a $70 product. Because with the release of this game, Sony no longer has advertising rights, exclusive content rights, anything when it comes to Call of Duty. This game is it. And even right now, Sony's selling bundles with the PS5 for this game. This is the last time they're going to be able to do it. Interesting. Very interesting. Food for thought. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I will see you again in another video.